Hi, I'm Maddie Staszak and I'm a cinematographer. We're here at High Output in Brighton at Studio 86 with High Output Academy and Women in Film and Video New England. One of the things that I love about cinematography is taking the technical aspects of the job and applying it to the artistic side. The more that you understand the tools that you're working with, the better that you can use them to achieve the look you're going for. Lighting is all about ratios, and manipulating those ratios allows you to achieve a look, a feel, and a mood for an overall piece. So I've spent most of my career either at a camera rental house or working in the camera department, so that's kind of my home base. But as I've worked more as a cinematographer, I've needed to understand a lot more about lighting, what a gaffer does, and what a key grip does. So a gaffer is in charge of anything that has to do with the lighting on set. And on a smaller set, that might be the only person that you have in the lighting and grip department. On a larger set, you'd also have a key grip who would be in charge of the lighting control, so any flags, diffusion, or dolly. The relationship between the gaffer and the cinematographer is very important because you really need to collaborate and take something that's very theoretical and very mood and feelings based and turn it into a reality. It really relies heavily on collaboration, so you want to make sure that you get along with your gaffer and you want to make sure that you guys have a good working relationship. So if you're looking for a position at a more traditional company like a rental house or even a production company, they will have job postings online through your traditional job posting sites. But if you do want to work on set, those aren't going to be posted anywhere. Very frequently, those are only through word of mouth. And that's where networking comes in. Putting yourself out there and getting to know people as much as you can, being friendly to everyone, and letting them know what you want to do in the industry, what your goal is. A lot of times it's not the person who's the most experienced or the person who might know the most, but the person who is the most agreeable to get along with. Because when you're in hour 12, of an overnight, you want to make sure that that person's not going to be a jerk to you. You want to make sure that the person you're hiring and that you're working with will be pleasant the entire way through. If you want to start networking, you just got to talk to people. Join some professional organizations like Women in Film and Video New England. I've met a lot of good women through that. And through meeting them at the networking events that they've held, those have turned into paying jobs. I think one of the important things about networking and attending networking events like the ones that WIFVNE hold is that you get to meet somebody when they're not working. So they're not stressed out. They're not nervous about getting the shot. They're not nervous about making the day. They're there to talk and get to know people. So people tend to be a little bit more open and a little bit more friendly because they're not worried about everything else that's happening on set. I just joined Women in Film in New England in February of this year, but I've known about WIFVNE for a long time. I've been aware of their presence for a couple of years, and I've always wanted to join, but I never quite took the plunge. And I would say that I'm very happy that I did. I think there's an assumption that networking groups like WIFVNE are really for people that are freelance and trying to connect outside of an organization. But if you're full-time at a company, you can still join WIFVNE and you can still meet a ton of new people and make a lot of connections. Being an in-house cinematographer sort of allows you the comfortability of not having to worry about your next job because you're constantly being paid, and that's one of the massive benefits about being in-house. But if you are going freelance, you do get to have the ability to work on a lot of different kinds of projects, a lot of different people, and a lot of different locations. Honest to God, I think my favorite project that I've ever worked on was the TV commercial that I shot at High Output in Canton last summer. The director, Megan Fossey, who's also a WIFVNE member, was just a dream to work with, and I really enjoyed the entire experience from start to finish. I truly believe that if there were more women working in the industry today, the environment on set would change. I think it would be a lot more respectful, easygoing, less stressful. I think that women know how to collaborate naturally, and women are really good at connecting with each other and understanding each other from an empathetic level. I think that allowing somebody to even pass in front of you when you're carrying a heavy thing or something like that, even those little types of being a good neighbor, really go a long way on set. So one of the things that I've had difficulty with is sharing the knowledge that I have gained throughout my career. I think as a woman, sometimes people assume that I know less about the technical things. I did have one guy explain to me what fill light was, and I was the cinematographer on set. I think it's just people tend to assume that I don't know as much as I do. And I have tried to find ways to let people know in a non-offensive, non-threatening way that I actually do know what I'm talking about. If you want to work in film but you don't have a ton of experience, the first thing that I would say is try and get to know some people and get on set. I truly believe that every time you're on set you can learn something new. Whether it's something that you didn't know was even possible, or something that you saw that you would never want to do again. You know, you can learn just as much from the mistakes as you can from the successes. And if you learn from other people's mistakes, then you learn twice as fast. But also, I think that you can learn something from everybody you meet. The same way you learn something from every set you're on, you learn something from every person you meet, because everybody has a different background. You know, my background's been in rental houses, so I can always rap out pretty quick because I know exactly where everything goes. But other things, you know, that people have had experience with, I don't necessarily know that much about. So I look to them to learn from their experience. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out some of my work, you can check it out on my website, www.maddiestaszak.com. All my contact information is on there, and I'm available for hire.